going to show you how to make a panel like this of trellis netting. I've decided to make a 24-inch wide piece because it works well with my cucumber frame. It can be any width that you want, and panels can be put right next to one another, so narrower works fine too. But as you can see, it's just string that's been tied into a grid of squares. And it takes a little bit of time to make. I'd say this took about a half hour to make. But the good thing about this trellis netting is once it's done, you can reuse it for a couple of years, as long as you don't cut it when you're removing vines from it. So I'll show you how to make it. So to make this, all you need are three things. You need some string, cotton string, and especially a very sturdy cotton string is your best bet. Nylon and jute string are a little too slippery and the knots loosen up a bit. So cotton if you can get it. And you need some masking tape or any other tape that is not going to leave a mark on your finished door. And a pair of scissors. We use a door to frame it all up because can you imagine just having loose pieces of string and knotting them together? It would be almost impossible to do it and keep it taut. So a door comes in very handy for the support for creating the netting. So our aim is to make a net that will be about 24 inches wide, which means we're going to need about 7 strings worth to make 24 inches. The strings will be set about 4 inches apart, which is an ideal size because if you're using the trellis netting for growing peas or beans or anything where you want to be able to stick your hand through the netting in order to harvest the peas or beans, you really want something that's going to allow your hands to get through. So 4 inches seems about ideal. So the first thing we're going to do is measure the length of string we're going to need and tear off a piece of masking tape, and we're going to place the masking tape so that the string's coming out at a perpendicular angle. We're going to set it on the other side of the door. Then I'm going to swing around the door, come to a little bit past where the string is, where the beginning of the string is, and just cut. And that gives us our string length. And I'll just take a few minutes and cut 7 lengths of string. So here we have 7 lengths of string ready to be put up in a grid pattern. Again, you want to use masking tape or a tape that will not harm the finish of your door. And put it so that the string is perpendicular to the piece of tape. And then place the tape on the door vertically. I'm putting it on the other side of the door and firming it with my finger. Then I'm wrapping it around the door and I'm just lifting the piece of tape and using the same tape and firmly pressing it. It's also helpful to put a piece of tape on this side of the door to keep it all, the string from moving too much. And then just repeat that for the remaining lengths of string. This next string I'm going to set about 4 inches down from the first string. It does not have to be exact. So I have put up 7 pieces of string on the door, spaced about 4 inches apart, and I want to go to the end and make sure each piece is taped to this side so that when we're doing our knotting, the strings won't move too much. You can do this while you're setting up the string, or you can do it afterward as you choose. In some ways I think it's better to do it afterward because you can do slight adjustments at the very end. Make sure they're firmly attached. And we're ready for our next step of knotting on the cross strings. So we're ready to put on the cross strings, and we're going to just cut the strings as we use them. And we're going to give it a few inches on each side. So you want to knot on the first string and make sure it is very tight. If you want to do it twice, it wouldn't be a bad idea. And then hold the string that's on the door already, and with between your forefinger and your thumb, bring the string up under this string and around that string and tighten it. Again. Up under this cross string, holding it between the thumb and forefinger, around the string, through the loop, and tighten. And then just keep going. So this is the last one for this side of the door, which I'm putting on. You want to make sure they're tight. Evenly spaced will look neater. Okay, you want to tighten them all by pulling on the outside strings. And then we're going to go do the same thing on the other side. Last one. I'm going to finish it up now. I actually had to put on 7 more to make the 4-inch grid. I'm going slowly so I don't disengage the tape. Okay, that's the final one. I'm pulling on the ends of all the strings just to make sure they're nice and tight. And then we can take the tape off. First, we'll take the tape off this end. So now when I take these pieces of tape off, it will fall to the floor. So start in the middle and hold the strings as you take off the tape. Now, if you happen to have straight back chairs, as I do, you can make this knitting a little more easily than using a door frame. You pretty much start the same way. Put your chairs right next to one another. Tear off a bit of tape. Place it on the edge of the chair and simply wrap it around and capturing it on the other side. And so on and so forth. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy making this easy home craft.